So today I want to do a first impression, first impression and the review video, concealer review video on the Marc Jacobs Remedy Concealer Pan. This is an under eye concealer. Think of this as sort of like along the line of the YSL Touche Éclat, except that it doesn't have any shimmer to it. So like not like shimmer, but like the YSL Touche Éclat has more of give you a luminescence finish because it has like a really fine, kind of like a micro shimmer kind of particles in it, especially with their number 1 and number 2 or number 3 as well, I think. They gave you that kind of like reflective kind of micro shimmer that's not very noticeable, but when you apply to your under eye, it actually reflects the light and then gives you a brighter and youthful look. So this is kind of like that, except that this is more for your under eye area because of let's see, this is really sleek, so it's in a black pen form and it has a silver clicker, so you have to click it in order to push the products down, and then you can see the products on the side right here. So you can actually see the shades right here. The reason why I say this is more of an under eye concealer is because of the tip. It says it has a patented palladium, palladium tip, and it says so it's basically kind of like a metal tip as it's slanted, and the products will come out in the middle, kind of like a lip gloss tip, except this is like a metal tip, so it's cool to the touch and it helps to depuff your under eye. I woke up with like pretty severe puffy eye today, and I've been having really bad dark circles because I've been having sleeping problems, and I actually slept a lot last night, so maybe that's why I woke up with puffy eyes. Anyway, so I got this shade in 000 stand corrected, and it's a sort of a beigey yellow color. The lightest shade, I think is the one before this one. This is the second lightest. The lightest shade has a pinkier undertones, more of like a light pinky color. So it's supposed to like brighten up your under eye, but I thought that one might be more suitable to like really paler skin tone people. So I thought that maybe this one will work better for me because I have a little bit more yellow undertone, and I think the kind of yellow can also correct my under eye dark circles. But there are a pretty wide range of shades in this particular concealer collection, so just letting you know. So I really like this. The difference is that like majority of those other under eye or brightening concealers like from YSL or Givenchy or like Dior or whatever, they all have a brush tip, so you can use it for under eye and also highlighting the cheek, down the center of the nose, your cupid bow, your brow bone, and things like that. But this one I feel like it's more designed for under eye because of this metal tip, and it just feels really cool to the touch, so I feel like it can kind of depuff and minimize at the same time. So let me just show you. So I have to give a couple good clicks in order for the product to be dispensed. The only thing with these clicking pen is that sometimes like you feel like, oh, you have to give like more than 10 clicks, and then you still don't see the products, and then all of a sudden you give another click and then the product just like ooze out of the tube, and then you just like have way too much. That's the problem I don't like with this kind of like clicking type of packaging. So this is like one of them. Okay, so I just saw the products coming out, and I think this is like more than 10, definitely more than 10 clicks. So be patient, I guess. So let me do one more click, and the product just came out, and I'm going to sort of smooth it onto my lid. So I'm actually going to apply a generous amount underneath my eye, and this is a really nice, like, not like a thick concealer. I feel like it's a pretty nice thin textured concealer, so it's really nice, not too thick, and then it does feel really cool once I use the tip to apply this concealer. And as you can see, this is a light kind of beigey corrector, a concealer with a sort of yellow undertone to it. And if you're fair skinned, you can try the very light shade. And they also have like medium shades and dark shades. I think there were like looks like there were at least like 10 different shades in this collection, I think. And the retail price for this, I believe, is $39, I think. So it's pretty pricey, but I mean, it is like a luxurious makeup line. So I guess, yeah, that's why. But I kind of expect like, anyway, so apply a very nice, just one click, and I just apply that amount, like kind of smooth it onto the under eye area, so I can kind of feel the metal tip touching my under eye, and it kind of to depuff with this metal tip, because that's what it's designed for, right? And then as you can see, before this one I haven't applied anything here, and you can see the puffiness and then the under eye dark circles. And then this one I just applied, you can see it definitely covered up it looks like it covered up the under eye dark circles, and also it looks it doesn't look as puffy as it was. So I guess it's pretty nice. It doesn't feel like very thick or cakey. So I don't know if you can see it. It doesn't look like it's settled into my fine lines. I do start to have some fine lines around here, so it doesn't really look like it has settled into any fine lines, which I think is good. So from far away, it looks like this. Doesn't really get rid of the dark under eye circle, as well as a peachy toned under eye concealers, like a salmon concealers, or peachy tone like under eye concealer. So maybe I think 01 is more of like a peachy tone concealer. I'm not sure. But I want something that's kind of like closer to my skin tone as well. So it blends in pretty nicely. It feels really lightweight. It's quite liquidy, but not like too much. So let me just apply. I think this is a bit too much. But it feels really nice to be able to have that kind of like a metal tip. So I'm going to apply a little bit more because I have some leftovers on this tip, so I'm going to apply just a little more. I wouldn't recommend to layer foundations on your under eye area, but because I kind of got too much over here. Okay, so yeah, but it feels really nice to have that cooling metal tip over here. I'm actually dragging way down, way too much. I'm just using my finger to kind of melt the product in. I think I got way too much on my hand. So I'm actually going to take out some. You don't want to apply too much products to your under eye area, because the skin tissue is very thin, and then also you just don't want a lot of product build up for under your eye. You want it to be like really natural, so you want to a good coverage under eye concealer that can be like minimum but also be effective. You never want to apply too much. That's the key to makeup. I always feel like less is more, you know. I feel like, because even when I do makeup on like models, on people, I don't like to layer too much products. I don't like to put a very heavy layer of makeup on them. I feel like you need the right product to do the right job, and minimum products that can give you the maximum result. So anyways, I just apply some. I did apply a bit too much, so I took away some with my finger and then put on the back of my hand. And I didn't use a brush because I don't want to disturb the under eye area, so I rather just like use a metal tip and kind of melting the products with my finger. I feel like finger is the best for under eye area because you can help melting the products to make it more seamless. So anyways, as you can see, the puffiness is still kind of there, and then the under eye circle is still kind of peeking through. The dark color, the dark circle is kind of peeking through, but it does kind of lift it. Feels like it lifted my face a little bit because it does seems like it's a bit brighter over here. So that's what I noticed. I do like the consistency because it's quite thin and it doesn't look like it's caking up or settled in any of the fine lines. And once I'm melting the products, it looks really natural, like I'm not really wearing anything. I think this is a pretty decent product, but I know there are a few of the drugstore products with way less money that can do pretty much the same thing or maybe even better. I mean, I think I will only keep this for the metal tip, because it can kind of, it does feels really nice to apply onto the skin. It feels really cooling. So maybe after like maybe an hour or so, maybe it will take effect in depuffing my under eye area. But I just feel like $39 is a bit too much for an under eye concealers. Like I said, you can definitely find dupe and even better ones in the drugstore for way less price. You can just get the e.l.f. eye refresh, like a rollable under eye depuff thingy from e.l.f. This is like what, $2-3, and also has a metal tip, has a rollable, and it gives a really nice same cooling sensation. And if you want depuff, I feel like you can always kind of use this beforehand, before you put on any makeup concealer. You know what I mean? Like you can wake up in the morning if you look depuffed, so after you wash your face, before you put on makeup, you can use this to kind of depuff the under eye, and it works really well because that metal tip. And then you can eat breakfast or whatever, get dressed and things like that until the eye gel or whatever the product kind of like sink in and then soak into the skin, and then you can do a makeup, and you can just use a regular under eye concealer or maybe use a peachy under eye concealer. It will work the same way. I think this is just kind of convenient because it has that built-in metal tip that serves as like a under eye depuffer and concealer and brighteners in one. I think this is good for travel, but this is also pretty good for travel. I don't know. I think it has its every product has its pros and cons. $39, I think it's $39 is a bit too expensive for me for an under eye concealer. I have tons of concealers that can do the same job and better job, or even better job, but it just really comes down to if you want something that's like a multitasker, something like this, and if you travel a lot, this I think will, this one thing alone kind of can replace, I guess, at least 3 products in your makeup bag or travel bag. Yeah, and the coverage is actually pretty nice. It's like I said, it's kind of like a thin coverage, so it's not gonna be like heavy coverage. But if you're someone with light, less, like very minimum spots or whatever place spots or on your face to conceal, you can probably use this as a regular concealer as well. You can just put some of that like on the back of your hand and then just use your finger to conceal certain spots. So it is low maintenance, with something like this. So it's really coming down to your personal lifestyle and what you really need, what's more suitable to your lifestyle. Like I said, if you're jet setter, if you don't like to have a lot of makeup, you don't like the fuss, and you want something that's quick and simple, then I think this is pretty good. Otherwise, I feel like it's not really necessary to spend $39 on something like this. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know if there are other concealers or foundation reviews or first impression videos you want me to do. I'll be more than glad to do that. And I do have a lot more foundations and concealers I still need to do reviews for. So yeah, thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye.